Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports. Good morning, everyone, and hopefully everyone is doing great. Salute to the WCS supporters, the battalion, one team, one fight. You know what it is. Hit the like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Support the channel. If you choose to donate, you know where it's at. You know what I'm saying? You know where it's at. I can drop the banner up there if you want, but you know, appreciate everyone who pulls up each and every day and check out WCS. And it's going down once again on this Tuesday. It's a lot to talk about, as always. Definitely have to address Canelo Alvarez. I'm gonna, address some things that's going on behind the scenes with Triller. A lot of people are truly interested in the format for which Triller has been able to raise up in the last several months. You know what I'm saying? They're having success in elevating the Triller format when it comes to this combat sports game. Who would have thought, though? How many people am I hearing saying Thriller when they trying to say Triller? Thriller is the new Triller, man. People are saying, man, you know, that Thriller. I'm liking what I'm seeing from that new Thriller. I'm saying it's Triller. You know what I'm saying? It's Triller. Take out the H. It's all good. And then, add an ER in that motherfucker. And you good. But a lot of people talking about it, man. They making up some fights behind the scene, y'all. It's going to blow your mind. Like fights that you never would have thought would be attached to some of the big names of boxing. Man, it's turned into an opportunist. How you put it? It's turned into a moment of opportunity where so many people are trying to ride this wave when it comes to putting on boxing events, where they're basically sacrificing the whatever their amount of integrity boxing had, and they're trying to bring in people who truly don't have the experience to call themselves a boxer. But like I always mention, people, I always say this: longest boxing is allowing individuals to get off the couch and get approved for boxing license with very limited and shallow prerequisites that's required. You will continue to have fights that's being put on like this. All right. You'll continue to have, you continue to have the new wave of exhibition. I have to go back to what Mauricio Suleiman said. I do. As much as I don't like quoting Mauricio Suleiman, I definitely have to go back to what he said because it's hilarious. It's funny. You know what I'm saying? He said we're moving away from tradition towards innovation. We're moving away from tradition towards innovation. And innovation in this case is promotions like Triller. But first of all, I want to talk about Canelo Alvarez. Yes, sir. I'll get back to the Triller because it's some fights that's going to take place on that weekend that's going to set that place on fire. Canelo Alvarez is set to face Billy Joe Saunders, right? And let me go through some articles with you right quick. So Canelo and Saunders will be meeting on Saturday. We already know that. They will be meeting on Saturday. And you know what it's about. This is more so at a point in Canelo's career where he's attempting to unify his first division for undisputed. All right. So let me read you this article right quick. This is from Boxing 24. Canelo and Saunders will be meeting on Saturday in the main event at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. It's doubtful. Okay. It's doubtful because what if Saunders and his dad find something else they're not happy about in the week of the fight and fly home again without fighting? Now, BJS is 30-0, 14 knockouts. All right. He's the current WBO. super middleweight champion. All right. Canelo Alvarez 55, 1-2, 37 knockouts. The problem with this entire fight is not that it deals with COVID. Oh, we're talking about a live gate. We're talking about, areas of discrepancy that would have been relevant several months ago. No, we're talking about once again, specifics, the nitpick specifics. If it's not a rehydration clause, if it's not, a fighter coming in on this amount of notice, it's dealing with the ring size. This is the problem that's going on with Canelo Alvarez facing Billy Joe Saunders. The ring size. Okay. So basically, from what I'm hearing is they wanted Canelo wanted Saunders in an 18-foot ring, which is crazy small. That's what the AMs fight in, don't they? 18-foot ring. So, of course, Team Saunders was like, this is the deal. We want a close to normal size ring, which is a 22-footer. A match room, acting like it's a negotiation process. Like they dealing, like they trying to buy a used car or something. They said, well, we'll meet you a little bit. We'll try a 20-foot ring. And my whole point is dealing with the ring size at this point on fight week. This is fight week. It's Tuesday. These guys fight at the end of the week. Who is making these changes, man? Who the fuck is coming up with ring size? Why is it so important if you're the pound for pound number one, bro? If you are the pound for pound number one fighter, why are you trying to gain any type of leverage you possibly can if you're the pound for pound in the sport of boxing? Are you truly pound for pound? Because, the way Floyd look at it, Floyd say a champion can adapt to anything. And I'm asking myself about Canelo Alvarez. Why are you going to attempt to reduce the ring to 18 foot and then say, okay, we're moving up to 20 foot like it's a negotiation process? We all know Billy Joe Saunders is going to need a bit of, a bit more room to move around from Canelo Alvarez. That's obvious. When you're talking about fighting styles versus fighting styles, we know BJS. And don't get it twisted. In no way, shape, or form am I sitting up here advocating for Billy Joe Saunders of all people. Hell no. But I'm just speaking from a media point of view. Why would Canelo Alvarez be? Why would he once again make it about himself in one of the areas that is a huge priority coming up on this fight? It's not like this the first time you fight in Texas, but the ring is the primary domicile for which you're going to take place that you've been in so many times before. You're 55 and what again? And you're trying to tell me you're going to come on fight week and your people are going to sit up here and say, well, we want him in an 18-foot, a smaller ring. You should have just followed Triller then. If you want a small ring, just fight on Triller. But the overall big question is from World Combat Sports, like, what was in the damn contract? Let's get to that. Tom Saunders, the dad of Billy Joe Saunders, said, I want a 22-foot ring. That's not good enough for Tom Saunders, as he wants nothing less than a 22-foot ring. He's responding to the 20-foot that Matchroom said which would be good enough, right? He says they would not budge on the issue. It's unclear where the size of the ring was written in the contract for the fight. And that's my big question. What was in the contract? It goes on to say, obviously, it works in the Southpaw Saunders' favor to fight in a larger 22-foot ring because he figures to use a lot of movement against Canelo on Saturday night. It's bad news for boxing fans hoping to see a thrilling fight because it looks like Saunders will be running around the ring all night trying to evade Canelo. It goes on to say he's so switched on. He's strong as a bull, and he can't wait to fight, said Tom Saunders to IFL TV about Billy Joe. There's a few issues we're not happy about that we're going to get sorted out. That's the size of the ring. Matchroom want us to box in an 18-foot ring, and then they come back with a 20-foot ring. It was supposed to be a 24-foot ring. 24 foot now. That's ample space. Then we're compromised with no smaller than a 22-foot ring. Tom Saunders continued. MTK is on it, and they're all over it. Hopefully that they're sorted out, and I'm sure it will be. It goes on to say, for Matchroom to want Billy Joe Saunders to box in an 18-foot ring, that's an amateur ring. It seems to me, in an 18 to 20-foot ring, they're trying to take Billy Joe advantage away from him. And we haven't got many advantages here. We're up against everything. Eddie Hearn said that he was going to do, as you were, Eddie Hearn said that he was going to do, he's delivered this fight, but at what cost? And he's not working with us. He's working against us in every opportunity, said Saunders. Matchroom's 20-foot ring size compromise should be more than enough, as that's the maximum size for a ring. It's unknown why Saunders wants a 22-foot ring. What does Billy Joe need a ring that large for the Canelo fight? I will tell you, we all know Canelo is a pretty much a flat-footed fighter, and basically something like that in this particular case where this fight means so much to Canelo, of course he would want to take advantage of it. If they can reduce the ring size, anybody who knows boxing just a little bit understands that's going to benefit Canelo. That's less real estate that he has to move around, to cut off the ring, to land shots and break down Billy Joe Saunders. This is a 12-round fight, people. This shit is a motherfucking 12-round fight. And I ask myself, if you truly are the creme de la creme, you're the top dog in boxing, why does the specifications always has to be a dagger to the heart of your opposition when it comes to you just condensing, manipulating, and always trying to derive a master plan to go in there that benefits in addition to what you're bringing into the square? You're supposed to have the boxing skills already, but yet you need the whole entire room to be set up perfectly like it's open house. Why? Why do you need that if you're that good of a fighter? You just need, you act like you need everything to be perfectly arranged. So when you go up there, you can pretty much have the set just like you requested. And over time, you'll be able to execute the master plan. Whether it's a rehydration clause, whether it's having a fighter, come in at a certain weight, the ring size, all these areas why people criticize Canelo Alvarez. Because if you're the top at the pound for pound list, why does all this matter? You should be able to go in the ring and win regardless. Not just say, okay, I need for you all to put this suit on. I want you to tailor this suit perfectly for me. And if I move around a certain way, I don't have to worry about the stitching coming loose because I don't have to move that far. Only thing I have to do is just move a little bit here and there. Just as long as you give me some wiggle room, I'm good. It seems like the setting has to be absolutely perfect for a top pound for pound fighter like Canelo Alvarez to step through the ropes. It's unacceptable. Like me of all people, I'm absolutely no way, shape, or form speaking on behalf of Billy Joe Saunders in this case. I'm speaking strictly for the situation in itself. This is a unification bout. This is a championship showcase. This is a big fight when it comes down to Caleb Plant being the remaining champion left in that super middleweight division. So I had to think ahead. I said, what are they gonna do next? Okay, let's just say you get this fight with Billy Joe Saunders and they don't walk away and leave you standing there, and you still are without an undisputed division. What's next? What you gonna try? What you gonna try to do? Go to Caleb Plant next and say, okay, let's try something different with Caleb Plant. Maybe we get this IBF. We can go back to Billy Joe Saunders and we can figure it out from there. Well, I'm gonna tell you, one of the most stubborn fighters that's not gonna budge on some bullshit like this. You already seen it. That's Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant has already made it perfectly clear from previous that he would not take a fight on short notice. I don't give a fuck what your name is. I know this firsthand from being in the elevator with him and his team. I know firsthand from being, privy to the conversation when the shit went down with him in Nashville and Benavidez them, sent him a contract and was trying to get him right back into the ring. He's not gonna budge. We all know Caleb Plant is gonna stand on the square regardless. So how's Canelo Alvarez? What are they gonna come up with then? They're gonna say, well, I know your shoe size may be a 13, but contractually, we're gonna put in there that you come into the ring with 11 and a half. We know we're supposed to be weighing 10 ounces, right? But we want you to wear these gloves right here. They say Walmart on them, but no. They're not Walmart for real. They serious. They some nice ass gloves. I know they look a little bit puffier than mine, but don't worry about shit. We good. Why is it? Does it have to be restrictions, specifications? If you're the top pound for pound guy, Canelo, people are tired of hearing this shit. People are tired of seeing it and everything, man. This is look. People are not even looking at this fight is with interest like they did Chris Arreola and Andy Ruiz. They just looking at a fight like, I know, well, it's gonna turn out this way, and pretty much that's the way it's gonna be. But this ring shit, what's oh man, I'm not trying to go off topic, but this boxing shit is just like it's now finally, the cylinders are starting to fire up across the board. Like you hearing NYC is opening up on the 19th of this month, right? So with that said, I'm hearing more and more restrictions. Like Derek Chisora was planning on walking away if he didn't walk out second. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of built up anxiety, it seems. Looking at the way boxing is regenerating its presence. But yet the boxers themselves, when looking at a fight like this, they're nitpicking. Like the fans don't want to see no nitpicking. The fans want you to step into the ring and fight, goddammit. The fans don't want to see no nitpicking shit. Like, let's just say Chris Arreola and Andy Ruiz. What was something that stood out to you leading up to that fight? The pictures, right? The weight loss. That's what stood out. Shit that's supposed to be transparent. That's what we're supposed to see leading up. That's supposed to be the promo. And we witnessed that. And people's like, oh shit, Andy Ruiz, look at that. He dropping weight. Man, he looks good and shit. All right, cool. It's gonna be a good fight. We're gonna get a better Andy Ruiz than what we actually seen in the Joshua. That's what we want to see as boxing fans. We want to see the transparency of certain areas that interests us about the fighters. We don't want to hear the nitpicking bullshit, the side details where they have to make sure the back is shaven, chest is shaven, no armpit hair. Um, we really have to make sure that they have a blue mouthpiece to match their corner. If they're in the blue corner, the mouthpiece must be blue. And then the red corner, it's Canelo, so he can have a green, white, and red if he wants. I mean, this shit never stops, bro. And boxing is generating is presence once again. We're seeing it. NYC is opening back up now. So now we're about to see a spread. If you looked at the PBC card that they put out there, right? The venues are TBD because they are waiting. And you probably saying to yourself, what does this have to do with Canelo Alvarez and Billy Joe Saunders? It's so many other fights that the fans have to look forward to. If this fight doesn't happen with Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders, nobody's going to give a damn because they used to Canelo putting all these restrictions on his opponent. This is no different. You really going to argue without a ring about a ring size and you're the top pound for pound? Billy Joe Saunders is not nowhere close to the top pound for pound. We just want to see a damn fight. We're not worrying about this right here. This Canelo. We're not worrying about this shit right here. We want to see a fight. You're the top pound for pound dude in boxing. You talk about prime for prime. You would have fucked Floyd up and all that. We ain't talking about you and Floyd. That's one loss you'll forever have on your record, unless you stay in boxing too long. But we're tired of Canelo making all these freaking arrangements and shit, putting all these specifications in the cart to check out. You have the money. 1 minute we talking big on Canelo. We like, hey Canelo, it's good that you was able to release yourself out your contract without really being forced to be on the shelf outside of boxing. You was able to release yourself from a $365 million contract, 11 fights that it really never matured in the first place, right? So you're done with that and you're able to do your thing. So of course your selection of opponents is out the window, Abney Yildirim and all that other bullshit. So no matter what people say, Callum Smith is legitimate, wasn't a legitimate opposition, and he just didn't fight the part. Now you go to Billy Joe Saunders. We know Saunders is a grimy, dog in the fight. You may not like him, but that's what he is. These guys have they father still around, to talk that shit with him, just like John Fury and all these other people. But he's not going to just lay down for Canelo Alvarez. He's not going to do it. But if you have the luxuries, you're the cash cow right now. Why are you going around putting shit in the shopping cart to make it easier and beneficial for you to win? If you're about that smoke and you're trying to cement a legacy, if you're not able to unify this super middleweight division, every time your name pops up and they compare you to Floyd, I mean, who you think going to get the more praise? They always going to say, well, Floyd had this many divisions as a divisional weight champion. He defeated Canelo. And I know there's people out there that say, well, Floyd has. We're talking about Canelo Alvarez right now. If you are at your prime right now, so to speak, why are you making such a big deal over shit? Just fight Billy Joe Saunders. Give him a motherfucking 22-foot ring. You want him to come in there with an 18-foot ring versus a guy who loves going to the body, who loves effectively targeting the body, to break you down in a 12-round fight? 18-foot ring? I mean, that's just crazy. An 18-foot ring in a fight like this. You want to Billy Joe Sanders to accept the 18-foot ring. You want him to walk into a ring like I have on my thumbnail. You want him to say, "Oh, yeah, that's the right ring. Si, senor. Let's go. Perfecto. That's cool." That's bullshit. At the end of the day, we see who in the building. Andrew Charles in the building. What's good, Deion Washington? What's good? Salute. What's good? What's good, everyone? If y'all want to give your take on this, click the link. Deion, whoever. If you ain't busy, ain't at work, click the link and give me your take on Canelo Alvarez. Once again, being what I perceive is a bit petty for a boxer of his stature, so to speak. Like raise him up. But yet, if people are going to be so nitpicky on every time criticism is dealt Canelo's way, then you have to understand why isn't the criticism being spoken on at this point in his career of him being picky as the top pound for pound fighter. I mean, I understand Canelo may feel that he's deserved this, but it's not about what you deserve if you're trying to prove to us that you're the best in the game right now. You're only the best in the game if the setting is perfect for you to split the ropes and fight. You can't go in there and just make do with what you have. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. That is what I want Canelo to prove that he can do. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. Absent of all the restrictions and prerequisites and all this other shit, I want to show that you can adapt to anything as a champion, as the motherfucking top pound for pound. Adapt to anything. Boxing doesn't need this right now. We're already searching for the big fights to tune into. That's our primary concern with boxing. Hold on for a second. So let's go on to another article on what his countryman Tyson Fury responded. All right, Fury say he got off the phone with his boy Billy Joe. He say, I just got off the phone with Billy Joe, and it seems like they're trying a lot of tricks here in Texas with him, said Fury on social media. I just want to say that you can try all the tricks in the motherfucking world. You ain't going to beat Billy Joe. Play fair, guys. Play fair. And that's unbelievable coming from a voice as Tyson Fury. Play fair. I don't think anybody really took his words seriously, like they would a respected superstar in the sport. I don't. This is just textual freaking media print right here. This is media banter. I don't think anybody looked at, read what Tyson Fury put out there and said, "Oh, they better do what Tyson Fury say." No one took it serious, because you're talking about you can play all the tricks in the motherfucking world. Anyway, moving on. They say if Canelo put on a bad product with a terrible eyesore of a fight in which he's chasing a running Sanders for 12 rounds in a 22-foot ring, How does that benefit him? It potentially hurts Canelo's popularity to be fighting a spoiler and boring his fight, his boxing fans worldwide. If Saunders look at the big picture, he'll realize that it won't win a decision against Canelo by stinking up the joint by using nonstop movement. The judges are going to give Saunders the decision. He seems to be forgetting where the fight will be taking place and also who he's facing. It would be in Saunders' best interest to go out on his shield by fighting Canelo tooth and nail rather than making it a track meet on Saturday night. So once again, reading these journalists, obviously, let me go back up. Let me pan to the top. So obviously for Charles Brune, who wrote this article, he's a bit biased in his ways because he's basically saying Saunders should go in there and contribute to assisting Canelo Alvarez earning his 56th victory. He should capitulate. That's pretty much what Charles is saying in this article. He should surrender. He should kowtow. He should genuflect. That's basically what he's saying. He's not in favor of Billy Joe Saunders, neither am I. But yet I'm not in favor of Canelo Alvarez, who's putting all these prerequisites out there on fight week. Why make it so difficult? And you had all this time knowing that you was going to fight Billy Joe Saunders. When was this fight announced, first of all? It was announced post-fight of Anthony Yildirim, right? So you had ample amount of time to clear all this up, especially with the paperwork, the administrative duties, the contractual ink. Have your people look at it, comb it over, and send it back. It's been ample amount of time for all this to happen. And on fight, we talking about the ring size. This guy right here is up here assuming that he wants Billy Joe Saunders to just go in there and lay down, so to speak, in a setting that doesn't benefit him. Just go in here, give up your title, fight your fight, even though it's benefiting Canelo Alvarez. Just do what the fuck you need to do to appease Canelo Alvarez. That's just what this writer is talking about. And that's not good. You know what I'm saying? It's not good at all, man. He said it would be Saunders' best interest to go out on his shield. No, because, certain people say go out on their shield and people throw in the towel and they say, well, they saved his life. So you have to keep it both ways when I read your articles often. You can't sit up here and say it's best for Saunders to go out on his shield when other fighters get criticized for saying they want to go out on their shield. Don't do that. For real, don't do that. He wants Saunders to fight Canelo tooth and nail rather than make it a track meet on Saturday night. If this ain't the most biased motherfucking article, this dude wants a fighter who's used to moving around to fight Canelo Alvarez like Stephen Fulton did Angelo Leo. It's not everybody that can pull off what Stephen Fulton did. When I was looking at that fight, I was like, God damn, this motherfucker hot. This dude he brought a whole different temperature to the ring. I wasn't expecting that from Fulton. But will I expect that from Billy Joe Saunders? No, absolutely not. Could I have been the one writing an article like this and said the same thing? Possibly. Because, with media, and especially journalism, there are some individuals who have their bias. It's just the way it is in life. Sometimes the natural instinct take over and experience take over. And you may have kinship with certain other fighters, and it may be a little bit of bias in there. In this case, Charles seems like he's leaning extremely heavy on Team Canelo. And he really doesn't have anything positive to say about Billy Joe Saunders. That's a lot of people. It could be from previous incidents that he's had. For him to say Billy Joe Saunders should go in there tooth and nail. Come on, dog. Are you serious? You want Billy Joe Saunders? This is just comedic that he would say something like this. Anyway, moving on. They say Saunders is not happy with the 20-foot ring. I want a good fair shake of the dice. I want an even playing field. Then I'm a happy man, said Saunders to Behind the Glove. One of the small things is the ring. I left it to my team. Look, it's one of those things. You don't go in a 70,000 seat. You don't go in a 70,000 seat with hundreds and hundreds of feet long and dance in a 16-foot ring or 18-foot ring or even a 20-foot ring, said Saunders, in resisting the idea of fighting a maximum size 20-foot ring. These types of fights have to be a fair playing field, a unification fight. I want a proper legitimate ring for both of us. And that's fair. It sounds like, Saunders is lining up his excuses already for after he loses to Canelo. It's predictable what Saunders will be doing once he gets beaten by Canelo. So once again, this whoever is Charles is who's basically inking, who's writing this article. He's implying that Billy Joe Saunders is making excuses. And you can call it that. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, but Canelo is the cash cow, people. Period. Canelo is the super duper cash cow. So for him to come in there with a super small ring to benefit him, I don't find Billy Joe Saunders' complaint as an excuse. I think he has every right. And it makes sense in hearing him say you have 70,000 seat with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet long, and you're dancing in a 16 to 18 foot ring. I agree, man. But once again, we all know that some of these boxing arenas where the fight cards are put on, the ring is not there to maximize the space. The audience is. The gate. However many people there, how many tickets are being sold, that is the priority. You know what I'm saying? The fighters is in the ring. The seat allocation. That is the priority. The priority isn't really what he described here as a 16-foot, 18-foot ring and a 70,000, seat arena. That's not even the case. Andrew's at work, but talk your shit, bro. I'm tuned in. I appreciate you, man. That's where I'm at with this. When it comes down to Canelo once again doing what he's doing. I'm moving away from this because I've talked about it enough, and though it's very interesting, if anyone chooses to come on here and speak on it, then so be it. So back to what I was mentioning earlier about Triller. Okay, matter of fact, let me put this thumbnail up there too. For those individuals that haven't read it, it's out there. You know what I'm saying? This is something that's circulating on IG and all over. You know what I'm saying? This is a thumbnail that's been out there for quite some time. So back to Triller. It's a lot of rumor mill that's going on about certain fights that's going to be taking place on the undercards. One thing I want to make perfectly clear about boxing, which really is becoming a nuisance in trying to find out the big cards that's taking place, the big fights that's taking place. It's becoming such a nuisance, man. And that is, I have this fight coming up, but I can't tell you. Big fight news coming up, but I can't tell you. Oh, I got fight news. It's nothing I can speak on. I can't speak on it right now. We've seen this shit of recent from Pacquiao. We've seen it from Ryan Garcia. We always hear that it's big fight news coming up, but you don't tell us the fight news. When we hear about the fight news, right, it's usually in print. Unless it's from a specific source in which people are waiting on a specific fighter. But why is that the case, man? Like, we don't get that from MMA. Big fight news, we can't tell you. Big fight news, big fight news. It's just like being at a carnival. Get your popcorn, get your cotton candy over here. It's just like they're enticing you. Just tell us the motherfucking fight news. That's all we want to know. They come up, boxing has turned into a circus of fish bait. When you hear certain fighters attached to certain names, they just want to see how social media bite on it. And then that fighter says, oh, it's no way, no how true. They team come out, no, that's not true. But they've been talking about it for a week, and you're just now coming out saying the shit ain't true. So Pacquiao is supposed to be closing down negotiations with a specific fighter. It was said that Pacquiao might fight Crawford way back. Nah, that ain't it right now. So now Pacquiao's coming back out with a future fight that's supposed to be with a big name. We don't know what it is. We wait, just like we have to wait on everything else. But what a lot of people are waiting on is what's going down with Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul undercard. The big scuttlebutt, the huge bucket of scuttlebutt that's out there is the fact that, for one, you have Jaleel Hackett, he's going to make his pro debut. There's been a lot of hype behind Jaleel Hackett. I spoke to him when he was down here in the ATF. Shout out to Jaleel Hackett and his father, Bernard. He's going to be fighting. And from what I'm hearing, right, I'm hearing another exhibition bout of Chad Ochocinco is going to be on the undercard of Floyd Mayweather. I'm hearing rumor mill about Derek James. Floyd Mayweather is one of those entities in the sport of boxing who is praised for his gross, his gross earnings, right? But one thing people cannot praise him for is having a lane all his own in the boxing that contributes to the sport on a regularity. That is, yeah, you can make money, Floyd, but as an individual, but can you be a part of something in boxing that is making money for boxers that's contended in the sport? That's my big question. Does Floyd have it within him to be a part of something with Mayweather Promotions to assist with fighters being able to eat and provide for their families as much as he's able to provide for his own? Is he capable of continuing this type of fight card? Is he going to ride the wave and the blueprint that Triller is putting out there? Can Floyd Mayweather do it? Because if indeed he's able to say, okay, check this out, this might be my lane. Okay, we got Triller. We have Triller over here, throwing this exhibition along with boxing and music entertainment. So why don't I try to switch it up slowly but surely? Put on a fight card. It's not like Floyd hasn't put on fight cards before, but switch it up just a little bit. Throw some exhibition bouts in there. And maybe a couple of musicians. I don't know. Something that Floyd Mayweather can find his lane that people will pay attention to. Because people are paying attention to Triller. Just like I told you several months ago. Like I told you, pay attention to Triller because it's not going anywhere. It's too many people that have money invested and assisting for Triller to fail right now. And the reaction that you are getting from boxers that actually, the boxers who's box amateur and in the professional ranks, is not the reaction that you thought. You thought it would be, they would scoff at the situation, be a bit angry, irritated, and pretty much, excoriate the idea. But that hasn't been the case, people. Boxers are pretty much like Regis Prograis saying, fuck it. I go on Triller and make a bag. Not only did he make a bag, he made an easy bag, making Ivan Redcash pick up his first Emmy Award. That might have been an Oscar. That was an Oscar. Take the Emmy Oscar. Give him, he picked up his first Oscar. But Regis Prograis was the highest paid on the card. And people still look at that and say, oh, boxing's still doing better. But look who brought the attention. Logan Paul and Ben Askren brought the attention, but yet a true legitimized boxer like Regis Prograis, former world champion, was on the card fighting in a smaller ring. If Floyd Mayweather can produce a secondary format such as Triller, he won't be able to produce the equipment. I don't think Floyd will want to put the money behind what Triller is used to. Triller has a team that allows them to set up two different settings. You have the setting and the scaffold that's over the ring, the lighting, and then you have the lighting where the musicians, a couple of the musicians will perform at during fight. Triller is set up not for a full 360 capacity to view the fight. They're not there yet. They're basically at a point right now where they can sell tickets for one side where you can view the fight and see the music entertainment, and then the rest is going to be PPV. All right. So they're forcing majority of the fan base that's a part of Triller and they want to see this boxing and exhibition. They're forcing you to be a part of the PPV mainstream. They're forcing you to invest your money to purchase the PPV. They're not giving you the option to say, oh man, I'm gonna wait around and see how much the tickets are on this day. No. When Triller puts, let's just say they put 300 tickets up. Those 300 tickets are gonna be gone and sold out quick because it's so few of them, right? And then, you know, in order for you to get a hold of the fight, guess what? You're gonna have to then buy the PPV. I'm curious to know if Floyd is planning on picking up on this format with the name that he has to a point where he can build it up. I'm not sure how many of these main events he's going to be a part of if he's, you know, putting this on Showtime. If it's something that PVC and Showtime is willing to retread, you know, we have to see what the numbers are like. Will this be something that Floyd is willing to do? Is this his lane in boxing? Because right now his name isn't, you know, outside the ring as far as his promotion, it's not as large and grand as we would expect it. But we really can't say that about a lot of fighters. Like Oscar De La Hoya has Golden Boy Promotions, but really, is it as large as we would expect it to be with Oscar De La Hoya's name, Golden Boy? I mean, a lot of us would say no. But Floyd, on the other hand, if he has the ability to entice fighters to fight on his card, and people somewhat have valued interest like they do Triller, this may be the lane Floyd needs to be in and putting on fights a year, that people can start slowly gravitating to what he has going on in boxing. Like I said once before, it's not like Floyd hasn't put on boxing matches, but I'm speaking on a format of exhibition boxing and may potentially music entertainment. I'm curious. Dion said Canelo with that bullshit again. Dion is stay on Canelo neck, man. But that's just something I think about when it comes down to it. I'm like, hey, is it possible? Is this what it's about? Floyd Mayweather finding his lane to get his brand out there for people to tune in and link up with him in boxing the way it's supposed to when Floyd Mayweather's name is mentioned. That's my point. I'm curious if he's able to put that quality time in to consistently put on cards like this, where it blends in, it bleeds over exhibition and boxing. They mesh those two entities over into the mainstream. Can it work with the team of someone like Triller? Because Triller pretty much understands their puzzle pieces. They know what they're working with. They know what they're trying to send out to the audience. They came hot and heavy. They know how to do it. Believe me, I've seen this shit. God damn. They know that format. They know that shit. Ins and outs. They totally get it. They understand it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You ain't telling them shit. They know the format that they're looking for. They know how to blend in the musician, the artist, the entire scheme of maneuver. I mean, they know everything. Of course, people may have a problem with it on how informal they are when they're broadcasting. They don't give a fuck about that, man. Like, they're not biting their tongue for shit. They say, man, please, we different. J8 in the building, what's good? We different. Salute to you. They say we different, shawty, period. A huge calendar date we can look forward to is June 5th, June 6th. Brilliant minds, man. Like Floyd Mayweather, his brilliant mind to slide in when the temperature is always right to make that money. You cannot be mad at him. You have to appreciate and salute how he does business. Like some boxers, they make money in their career, and then it's nothing else. Like, okay, what do you do? Oh, well, they have this gym over here. Okay. But as far as once they leave the sport actively, is there a secondary plan for them to be a part of boxing in a way where current boxers, active young fighters can benefit in making a living off something that they're part of? We don't see that often. We see Bernard Hopkins, the influence he had on boxing, but he's pretty much co-assisting over there and a key staff member over Golden Boy. Like, who's gonna step up? The only one that's really at this point in time that you can say, like, you see David Hay, he's doing the management thing. Like, most of the big guys that are part of the names in the promotion business, even TGB, you're talking about Eddie Hearns, Bob Arum, Al Heyman, and all of them. They weren't fighters. Floyd Mayweather right now, with the money he's earned, his career earnings, can he find his lane right now with the way times are changing, the way Trillers came on deck? Is Floyd going to be one of those faces of names that could change the game and have this boxing exhibition be taken serious? He has it. He has the face value. Floyd has the face value for real. He just doesn't have a good track record. So this would be an opportunity for him to pretty much sway away just a little bit from the presence of being unsuccessful with bringing a plethora of world champions out of the TMT stable to now being a part of something like, okay, Mayweather Promotion, we can do this, this, and this with these fight cards. But what we're going to do, we're going to have boxing blended with exhibition. Can it work for the fans? Will the fans commit to it? Will the fans and the YTC community, the YTC, speak on it the same way they're speaking about Triller? And I know when Triller, I know a lot of people were speaking when Triller initially was making, they was buzzing hard out here for the Tiafimo purse bid, them winning. The automatic criticism was, can they sustain this shit? You don't need to think about sustainment. You need to look at the work that they putting in. Like Triller is putting in some incredible work in promoting their fighters. That's going to be a huge factor because that's what they know how to do. But in order for Floyd to stay afloat with something like Triller, he has to really send a team out there to evaluate the growth process, because social media is a garden. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to cultivate the identity of your fighters, it is a garden out here. And that garden requires attention and maintenance to keep that shit beautified. The promo that Triller is doing right now is amazing with their fighters. I don't see too much promo coming from, what Floyd is doing unless it's about him. Seriously. Like, when it was Gervonta Davis fight week, heading to the Lil Santa Cruz fight, and he took it upon himself to just talk about cleaning up the sport. I really don't know if Floyd can be a part of something without being front and center and make it about himself. Like, it would be good if he can promote his fighters, whoever's going to be on this card. If he's going to, start throwing these exhibition/boxing fight cards, right? Do they have the staff there that's willing to promote these individuals the right way? Like, look at the flyers from Triller. You have to admit the flyers from Triller was on point. Tone Brown in the building. Salute to you. King Mitch, what's good? Come back, what up? Salute to you, brothers. What's good? What's good? Look at the flyers, though. Flyers mean a lot. Screenshot is a huge word that people are utilizing each and every day to pass traffic. When you don't receive those flyers, I'm not talking about just one flyer. I'm talking about maybe about 3 to 5 different flyers on a particular boxing event for people to screenshot and put on our IG and Twitter and on Facebook. I don't know how you expect to grow, because social media is one of those platforms, one of those currents out here that you have to throw your content into so it can go downstream. You have to put that content out there. Social media is one of those areas that build up fights. It builds up the popularity, it builds up the identity of certain fighters, and it builds exposure. It's out here for a reason, but not everybody take advantage of it. I say this all the time, not to retread on shit, right? But being that Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos will be the main event on June 5th for Triller, you have to look at, since Teofimo Lopez purse bid was won by Triller, his team has been revised and his IG has been revised. If you look at how they revamped his IG and cleaned it up, sanitized it, and put it out back to the fans, all they're doing is basically allowing him to go to photo shoots and promoting him as the main attraction on that card. And the footage that he's putting out is much more corporate now. It is a lot more corporate. Look at his IG. Look at Teofimo Lopez's IG. It's clean. It's what you need to be as a fighter coming up. But it's hard for a fighter to get that, because I'm gonna be honest, like, a lot of fighters just want their fans to be, from the culture, about the culture. They want to be. You just have to learn the dynamic. to be about your profession and also still stay connected with the culture. You have to find that in between. I'm telling you, well, when I say Teofimo Lopez, being his name is buzzing right now from the Triller purse bid, you also have to say, damn, I have to give him his salute because they done cleaned up his IG profile and made it strictly about boxing, but not the same shit over and over again. They have different pictures, different stills. They're basically putting his belts out there that he's the damn undisputed champion. They really provide him that grand exposure to the boxing community. There's some fighters out here that's unwilling to even meet the appointments. They say, hey, you have a photo shoot here, you have a photo shoot here. We need for you to dry out. You know what I'm saying? And stay away from water. We want you to be a bit shredded and dry for this photo shoot. We're gonna make this happen. We need for you to look this way. Some fighters aren't willing to do that. I mean, they just don't care for it. They may look at where they at in their career and they say, nah, fuck it. I don't need to do all that, man. The fans are gonna love me or they're gonna hate me. Fuck it. But if you're young in the game and you understand how big social media exposure is, you will go through it. You will meet the appointments and you do what you have to do. And that's what Triller is doing right now. I'm not saying they're going to do that for all their fighters, but I can tell you this right here. Some of the fighters that was on that last card, Triller took some damn good photos of them. They put them out and I liked it. I was like, okay, cool. Some fighters don't need no introduction. Regis Prograis, Ruga, he doesn't need an introduction. Frank Mir doesn't need an introduction. Steve Cunningham. It's just this whole time we've been waiting for Floyd Mayweather to come out the shadows, with the name to match up to his gross earnings in the sport. Can he mesh that together to be a part of something in boxing that can blow up his name the right way as one of the flagships out here in the future? Like Floyd Mayweather is like 43 years old right now. Can he find a lane that can put him up there with the top ranks, Showtimes and Golden Boys? You know what I'm saying? The zones. Can he find a lane that can do it? Because the zone did it. The zone, it's not like the zone did not have an exhibition bout or a boxing bout. I would say a boxing bout with exhibition participants, YouTube personalities. They did it, but they refused to hold on to the damn structure, the format, because probably people was complaining. The team is different for everybody. We're not gonna do this too many other times. We're just gonna stick to boxing. But now to see full circle, Triller picks it up, and they're going about this shit like they've been doing it forever. But the one thing about it, they're going to have to supersede the Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos. I know a lot of people aren't talking about it. I mean, it's not super hot topic right now, but it will be. Wait till the end of the month. People are going to start buzzing. It's some fights in between that people are going to talk about right now. But believe me, just like they did the Manuel Navarrete and David Diaz, just like they did the Andy Ruiz and Chris Arreola, they're, just like they was even talking about the Joseph Parker and Derek Chisora. They're going to start buzzing about this motherfucking Triller card and then Mayweather card. I wish some shit like that could happen in the ATL, but they just don't have the interest in the people that's willing to put this shit together. But Florida has, even during the pandemic, Florida was bucking the system and saying, you know what, we're gonna start gradually open this shit back up to no fans, and then we're gonna, see how this works out, and then we're gonna crack it open a little bit more to have partial fans, and shit is going back transparent wise, um, primarily due to the vaccine. So Florida's open the gates back up, put fans in the seats, put butts in the seats, and then putting on these fights. And what do we have in 2021? We was just stricken, broken down on a kickstand in 2020 from the COVID-19. Now in 2021, it looks like this fight year, mid to the end of December, it's a lot of good shit that's in store. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of good shit that's on deck. Who's going to be next for Triller? Do you think Floyd, if he's able to put himself in a situation to win a purse bid or something on a fight and draw in that without taking a huge percentage of the fighter's purse and give them what they earn? I mean, could this be his niche? Could this be his lane? I don't fucking know, dog. A part of me always looks at the narcissist side of Floyd Mayweather. Whenever he's involved in something, people look at him as just being involved for himself and not that of others. So that's the way I look at Floyd. That's all I'm saying. That's what touches me the most. Like, yeah, the name Floyd Mayweather comes up, but what does he have planned for himself? Okay, he's gonna fight Logan Paul. Okay, this is a caveat to his brother Jake Paul. Okay, I got it. So Floyd Mayweather believes that he can bring Logan Paul back to the status he had when he initially faced KSI and lost. So the buzz was on Logan Paul. Then it went now to his brother Jake Paul as of recent, because Jake Paul's fight, it wasn't shit. I'm talking about the previous Jake Paul fight prior to him stepping in there fighting Nate Robinson. Jake Paul really wasn't getting the buzz his brother Logan Paul was, but now he is. Jake Paul is earning that buzz, and he's getting the support of real fighters. That is the absolute preposterous part of it. It is insane to believe that he was simply a YouTube personality. No one really fucking with Jake Paul back there like that. They was rocking with his brother Logan Paul. And also, I always ask people, like, is it like Floyd? He is a huge opportunist, just like the Conor McGregor situation. And you can complain about it that he's giving all the white fighters the spot. You can complain. It's true. He giving the white fighters the spot now. Floyd rarely ate in the boxing ring with another black fighter. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying when it came to the big time, he just didn't provide that. But now I'm looking at it like, if no one else was willing to do it, are you going to be mad at Floyd? Because I didn't hear too many other people that was close to getting a fight with Logan Paul or could potentially pull this off like Floyd Mayweather. All of a sudden, his brother Jake comes back, comes up for air, and he's fighting Nate Robinson. They say, okay, cool. Boom. Knocks him out bad, did him dirty. People acting like this dude just earned his sixth weight division world championship. You have videos floating around of people, individuals who actually fought in the boxing championship level, who put in the hard work and sacrifice, giving him advice when they should be giving real boxers, the motherfucking advice. You know what I'm saying? That's who you should be giving advice to. But then all of a sudden, Floyd comes out He peeks his head out from the shadows. Oh, it's gonna be a fight with Logan Paul. No one really gives a fuck. And Floyd said, "Nah, the fight's been scrapped. It wasn't the right time." Floyd peeked his head out from the damn shadows, and looked around a little bit. Floyd Mayweather versus Paul. Mayweather versus Paul. And people was like, what is this? So he waited till a little bit more of the buzz took place with his brother Jake Paul, and saw how people was buzzing with Askren. Now he comes out, slides in there at the right time. Hey, that Triller card? We're going to get both of these brothers to fight on the same weekend. No, we can't do that because he's fighting on this day. We can't. Okay, we have to reschedule again. You know what I'm saying? So now he said, how can I get Logan Paul that buzz that Jake Paul is getting if I can't do this on the same weekend? We got to get him in shape. There has to be weight class. How can we pull this shit off? Well, Triller is fighting in South Beach here, this and this. He may not get his brother Jake Paul, but yet it's an opportunity for you to get that shine. And his brother Logan Paul gets a little bit more notoriety and build him up too. Oh, cool. That's smart right there. Let's try that shit out. And it's in full blown effect. It's just not scheduled yet. What's going to hurt Mayweather and Logan Paul is the promo. They pull out one video. They did a promo video of smoking all that with the flyer and had Logan Paul say, "Hey, wow, I never thought. Look, I'm really going to fight the best boxer ever." And they show him out in front of his house acting like he received the news on his phone to see how many hits it get. That shit was cheesy as fuck, though. That's on a lower tier. Like, you got to come better than that, Logan. If you want to build this shit up, you got to have a lot more energy. In your position, of course. You got to be hyped up. You got to run through the streets, not have balloon fights and shit with Dillian Dennis or whoever the fuck that was. Was it Logan Paul? Yeah. You're trying to build fan interest by saying, oh, we might potentially face Dylan Dennis. Nobody know who the fuck Dylan Dennis is outside of MMA and BJJ world. He's nobody when it comes to popularity. But if you send a promo out there for Floyd Mayweather, you have to do some drastic shit like, oh man, you gotta rehearse that shit, rehearse, and then put it out to us and make us believe. Like, you need to go back to what got you here. If you was all about that YouTube shit, you should have created a motherfucking skit for people to believe that you're in shock that you get in a fight with the one and only TBE. I'm just saying, dog. This June 5th date and 6th is about numbers. Do I believe Floyd Mayweather will calibrate higher numbers PPV wise than Triller? No, I don't think so. I just don't think so. I don't think so. I don't believe it can happen. And there's a lot of people out there that's boosting Floyd Mayweather up because they say, oh, they're boxing fans, but yet you're boxing fans for Floyd Mayweather, but you're not boxing fans for Teofimo Lopez, George Kambosos, because they're fighting on Triller. You feel me? Like, come on, man. This shit don't make any sense. Like, what are you boxing fans? Who are you boxing fans for? The fighter or the sport? Because you boxing fan for the sport, then you can say, okay, for the main event, I really want to see Lopez Kambosos, because Logan Paul is not a boxer. He has a license to box, but he is no way, shape, or form a boxer. All you have to do is look at his box rec pick, and that will deter you from buying a PPV. I'm serious. Y'all look at his box rec right now and tell me y'all don't feel some type of way about that shit. Like that is one of the most glamour shot box rec picks that you can find. Like, dude, there's some type of masculinity that hardcore fight fans look at in this sport when it comes to pictures and box rec and looking at your shit. When you look up Logan Paul's box rec, it doesn't give you, it gives you that motherfucking animated vibe. Like we're making another fictional movie and shit. Cartoons. Like it takes us back to the YouTube days, the Vines. It takes us to the TikTok videos for real. Can Mayweather and Logan Paul exceed the numbers of Kambosos Lopez? I don't. I'm firm to say I don't believe so at all. And those numbers are going to be bloviated a bit. Believe that. But was you telling me that Triller, from what I'm hearing, they're gonna have some motherfucking artists performing for your entertainment? Some music artists? You think people are not gonna want to tune into the music down there in South Beach? They're not gonna want to see a performance by the musicians and boxing. Man, Florida ain't gonna be able to fuck with that, dog. Real talk. It's not gonna happen. Floyd's not gonna be able to fuck with that unless he's willing to have some type of pre-recorded performance in a different location. Because I'm gonna tell you, the venue for wherever they're trying to do is not gonna be able. Floyd is gonna want a live gate first and foremost. Floyd's live gate would be a larger number than Triller because the way Triller structure is set up internal to the arena. They're not going to have a larger capacity live gate than Floyd because they just cannot seat the fans all over the arena to watch the fight. Their structure is not set up that way. But for Floyd, his will be. So for Floyd, he's going to increase the numbers of the live gate first and foremost. And then the only way, if he's choosing to have performance, artists to pretty much mirror what Triller has going on, the way he can get away with it is pre-recorded performances in a location down in South Beach. It's possible. I've seen it. I already seen it. Justin Bieber had all us leave the arena while he pretty much rehearsed. And some of the other performers, which I'm not going to get into it, they pre-recorded they shit, full-blown performance. So they showed some that was live. Justin Bieber was live, but when he was practicing, they didn't want anybody in the arena. Real talk. Big ass Mercedes-Benz, JB cleared that bitch out. I was like, damn, this dude has some motherfucking power right here, a little bit, Anyway, some of the other performers, they did it with nobody in the motherfucking arena, fans wise, pre-recorded. And then some of the other performers, they also did rehearsals in the arena and they performed live. So I like how Triller is switching the shit up. But if Floyd can have something that's pre-recorded down in South Beach where the fans where it seems like it's linking up to the actual fight card itself without taking too much time in between fights, he can make it happen. I don't think they're willing to put that much money into the production aspect of it. I think Florida's like saying, fuck that. This is about me. I'm just saying, I don't believe he's willing to say, you know what? I really want to be looked at as copying or emulating or reciprocating Triller's format. But yet I want to make as much money as possible in this PPV. So if they come out with a PPV fight card and they put on there also performing is this, and this, and these individuals are in a separate location, it may it may be possible that Floyd can bring in extra revenue. But Floyd doesn't have the team, the promotional team. I know he's attached with Al Heyman. I'm talking about Mayweather promotion. He doesn't have the promotional team as Triller. They know they do this shit. They do it for the music. They do it in a way that they have their format set up to basically promote boxing and their musicians, whoever their musicians is for that fight card. And look, not to mention the musicians that's going to be in attendance June 5th. You talking about Snoop D-O double G, baby? You trying to tell me he's not going to be able to get the OG and make the phone calls that bring in some of the best talent? Shit, that's definitely going to happen. Yes, sir. But y'all just keep that, just keep that on, just food for thought. It's just something that was piquing my interest when it came down to it. Let me go through some other topics. I see Demond Nicholson is making his rounds and interviews, which is good. I'm glad the brother's getting some exposure out here from facing Edgar Berlanga. That's good. He should. You know what I'm saying? He very much should make his rounds out here. You know what I'm saying? He deserves it. I really never will walk up to a man that's participating in combat sport and make him feel like it was okay for him to lose. You know what I'm saying? Provide him that sense of comfort that, you know what, I'm gonna stroke your ego a little bit and say you did all you could do, but even though you lost, you won. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's not the message I'm trying to send to him, but in a way that on that night he did win. He won. He won in many ways. He made it out of the first round with Edgar Berlanga, and also he went the distance with Edgar Berlanga. You know, for Berlanga, however he chooses to look at it, it doesn't define his career as being any less of a fighter than people perceive him to be. You know what I'm saying? He was 100%. He's not 100% knockout percentage. His ratio is not 100% anymore. So now he's 17-0 with 16 knockouts. In no way, shape, or form does that devalue who he is as a fighter. But for Demond Nicholson, man, why not show this brother love? Like, yeah, a lot of people believe that Nicholson was going to lay down after being dropped and hurt. And he fought a smart fight. When it was time for him to hold, he held. And then, when he let his hands go on the inside, when people didn't think he would, he did it just enough not to get caught with that overhand right. And shout out to Calvin Ford and the crew that was there, Levi the Cut Man and all the team. They came up short, but their fighter actually won. He was able to win in the eyes of his fans when it came down to it. He did. He won that night. I seen him out here on several interviews, and he seemed high spirited. And most of the time, I would frown on a fighter that's making a motherfucking what they call that, their press tour. When a fighter is going on here and on their press tour post fight and talking, and they're happy about losing. Most of the time, we'll frown upon that, but in this case, I got to salute and congratulate him for standing strong in that fight with such a highly touted rising star in Edgar Berlanga. We got to give it to Nicholson, man, for going 12. Not only did he go 12, but he fought. This dude wasn't running around the ring. This dude was not Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He wasn't just in there just taking shot after shot after shot after shot. And people, to test and see, does Berlanga have the gas tank to continue his barrage of punches? I mean, when Belanga landed the hard shots, some were affected to get the knockdown, and some wasn't. But Nicholson moved when he had to move, and he stood his ground and punched and fought when he needed to. I have to give him a salute on that again. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him. Blowjob Sandra and his pops acting like bitches. I like them holding Eddie Hearn's feet to the fire though. We'll see how much weight MTK Global name holds. Canelo thinks he's Floyd. He wants Floyd's position so bad. Mayweather never surprised fighters with his stipulations, though. Yeah, I have to say that you speaking some sound shit right there, King Mitch. One thing is, if it's one fighter amongst others that I really don't have appreciation for, is BJS, Billy Joe Saunders. I mean, I just, as a fighter and as a person, I'm just speaking in a media light. It's not to benefit Billy Joe Saunders. I'm just speaking in a media sense that I believe he has a solid point. You know, Billy Joe Saunders has a point to say, check this out. Give me a quality size ring, because it's bullshit. This is supposed to be the pound for pound fighter. And he wants you to come in there and fight in a closet. He wants you to fight in a Triller ring. You know what I'm saying? And definitely we'll see MTK Global. We already know they have a pool. We'll see how much of an influence they have to settle this down and get Billy Joe Saunders what he wants. You know, and for Canelo, yeah, I mean, Floyd will always be that Picasso on Canelo's wall when it comes to his boxing career. You know, Picasso, you know, when people look at it, some of those Picassos, they don't look good. They're unattractive paintings. And then you have people with that's very artistic. They'll look at it and say, wow, look at that Picasso right there. Wow, that's just amazing. And Canelo looking at that one Picasso he has on his wall, Mayweather. Oh shit. But they all, God damn it. God damn it, Floyd. I don't know, man. I can't, you know, on that side of it, Mitch, I really can't sit up here and say that Canelo is trying to be Floyd. He wants the royalty to choose what he's been doing. Like Canelo's been choosing what the fuck he want to do. But all these stipulations that he's putting on his opponents, though, it's repetitive at this point. If you're the best in the game, why does the ring has to be set up like it's a gala? Like it's a Canelo Alvarez gala. Everything has to be decorated nice. The ring size has to accommodate. Why can't you just go into the motherfucking jungle, dog? This is what you do. You in shape. You stay in shape. You on everybody's top pound for pound list. Besides the ESPN. Why does it have to be perfected in a way that it provides you extra needed advantages? Just go over there and improvise, adapt, and overcome, man. Fight your fight. Major Key said, "What up? Why don't you come and talk to him last night?" I didn't see it last night. I actually watched it this morning. I wasn't there when y'all was talking to him, but he was on some other people's channels too on IG. He had some other interviews on IG. He wasn't just on your channel. He's making his rounds. And Demond Nicholson is making his rounds. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't just on yours. He was talking to a couple of other my boys on IG. So, you know, I'm gonna wait till he finish selling in, you know, do what he gotta do. You know, he's saying some good shit. So it is what it is. But you know, back to what you were saying, Mitch, Canelo is gonna continue to nitpick as much as he possibly can. But you know, imagine this there, Mitch, if Canelo Alvarez actually took time to speak English to the US fans and was tell them some shit like, this is what I got going on. This is what I'm gonna do, and this, that, and the other. He can speak English. He knows English. He just chooses to, speak majority of his language, Espanol, right? But if he was choosing to make a dent in boxing, he could do it in a way. Canelo, I don't see him as taking the route of Golden Boy, but could Canelo be bigger than Floyd Mayweather if he decided to do some type of promotional, like some grand scheme, boxing card, had Mexican fighters on there with American fighters, however you want to do it? Could he be successful at it? Because right now, once again, his name is big like Floyd, but it's not big when it comes to overall global sport of boxing. Like, I'm not talking about just as a fighter. I'm talking about, is it something that they can um maximize from their brand to expand their name outside the ring? Because Canelo doesn't have a lot of years left in the sport of boxing. So what's next? Is he going to start something that can maximize a residual sense of popularity once he retires and hang up the glove? What is it? Because Floyd Mayweather hasn't been able to do it. Floyd Mayweather, the time that his name is primarily mentioned is when he's returning back to the ring. Is it any way that Floyd Mayweather, along with Canelo Alvarez, being that they are attached, can they create something to globalize and take their name to a whole nother level in boxing without them competing in the ring? You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't add Manny Pacquiao in this motherfucker because Manny had plenty of time to do what Manny could have done to be a part of boxing. In his country, the Philippines, of course, he's a big time. He's an elder statesman. He's a politician and all this other. That has nothing to do with boxing, though. You find a lot of boxers, they're not really contributing to the sport because it's so much going on. So many people have their hands in the pot. You would think it's enough room for everybody to eat to grow their shit. Seriously, it's such a huge field for you to just cultivate and grow your motherfucking food source in boxing that you don't see it. You don't see fighters able to flourish on the grand scheme of things. No, I didn't say it was just on yours. You asked me why I didn't come on to talk to him last night. I didn't know. I was going around making my rounds, so I looked and I watched it. I had other things going on. The Dejo and some Ray Caruth shit out there in PR. Real talk, he is. Here's some Ray Caruth shit for real, ain't he? For real, for real. Shit, Canelo's English is better than Triple G's. Triple G's getting no love today, but I'll stay talking on Fadejo because I think Ray Caruth, comparing him to Felix Verdejo, there's a slight discrepancy in that. Ray Caruth attempted to the point where his son came out deformed. He's now out. He has to live with the way his son is now disabled. He has to live with that. That's a brutal reality, isn't it? To come out of confinement from attempting to kill the baby. I mean, to do what he's doing and then injure your son in the process. I mean, that's just crazy. But I think what Felix Verdejo is on a whole nother level, though. I'm going to go out on a huge that this isn't the first time Verdejo is killed. I'm serious. I don't think this is the first time that Felix Verdejo has killed a person. I'm just gonna be absolutely real. I'm gonna be one of the ones who put it out there. I truly don't believe this is the first time Felix Verdejo has killed a person over in Puerto Rico. I don't. For a person to know and have an understanding whether it was his accomplice or not, the fact that you look at the premeditation involving all of it, him going to a certain place and getting a syringe that's injected, I mean, with that holds a liquid of whatever. For him to have the prearranged tools to kill this girl that he's known since middle school is crazy. For him to know how to tie up her legs, for him to be riding around with cinder blocks, to understand, to know, to him to totally fully understand and grasp the severity of his actions and carry out the way he did with cinder blocks or cement blocks, to sink her to the bottom the way he did. Not only that, but to fire off a weapon once he threw her in the water. Not the fact that she's bounded. She's bound. I don't know if she was gagged. None of it. She's bounded by cement blocks, so she's going to the bottom. We don't know how deep it was, but we understand in human life, she was going to drown. All right, she's just not strong enough to swim back to the surface with, having nothing on her, not having a pocket knife to cut that wire off or anything. Little dude looks like Ray Carew too. He does, man. Like that's a huge man. That's something he has to deal with in reality and what he attempted to do. Seriously, it's a lot going on with that. What lessons can other boxers take from Fadejo's actions on how to take responsibility for getting another woman pregnant when you're married? What lessons can boxers? To be honest, Alex, salute to you for dropping through. But let me look at it this way, there, Alex. This is athletes across the board. Has nothing to do with singling boxers or targeting specifically boxers. This is in life in general, period. This is in life, period. I know he was a boxer, but this is life, period. You have individuals that die from situations like this every day that has absolutely nothing to do with boxing. It's the situation for which the court system, it's the situation from which individuals violate the minimal morals and principles that we live by on a regular basis. That is the problem, the lack thereof. Temptation and lust is a mother. So sometimes that overrides, our judgment call, and it goes out here. And like I said before, that liquid is expensive. So once that liquid materializes into a baby the transformation takes place. Some of these women are like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. And from my understanding, that's coming out now that Felix Verdejo's mother had reached out and attempted to persuade, Ms. Rodriguez to abort the baby. They really was looking at this like, when you get your mom to co-sign on your immorality, you're basically saying, you're gonna have your son back. So this was out already. So it was already some type of danger, pre warnings. The red flags was up when Verdejo saying, "Hey, I'm coming over to your house. I want you to take a ride with me." For her not to imagine that she may be in danger or her life may be at stake, she must have felt, I don't know what she felt, man. Hold on. Y'all hold on for a minute. I'm gonna let my son get his man, make him know it. Are you finished? Go ahead and finish your stuff, man. No, you finished. No, I just want to know because I muted. So Alex, to answer your question, you talking about the lessons. There's no lessons that are boxers. When you put boxers boxers, you're basically framing them from Fideo's actions. The act that Fideo committed was something that in life people commit when dealt with this situation. Not just Fideo. You have politicians, you have presidents. Let me start. You have presidents, politicians, athletes, celebrities that go through this process. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. That goes for infidelity too. Um, I don't know, man. Infidelity has many variables to it of influence. I'm just keeping it real. You know, you can't use the infidelity word because it's a lot that goes along with why there's infidelity. Why? We don't know the entire story, but in this case with Felix, we can say it's infidelity because yeah, he was married and he was with old girl for a long time. Like they knew each other since middle school. And the fact that he knew her so long to commit the act the way he did, he knew this cat. He know this woman. He knew this woman since youth, their childhood, and he treated her the way he did. Yeah, Verdejo is a supreme sucker for that. His accomplice to the article talking about a fucking witness. That was a damn accomplice and partner. Absolutely. I agree. That was his accomplice. His accomplice should indeed serve time also for his actions. For him to, I heard that he got in her car. I heard that she jumped in his SUV. Whatever the case, both vehicles moved from that site. Her car was found 13 miles away, and his SUV was pretty much on surveillance camera near the bridge where he dumped her body in the lagoon, right? Either way it goes, they're saying that when she entered the vehicle, he started to punch her in the face. A puncher, period. So Verdejo being a boxer that is capable of knocking out a man, or causing a man harm, he probably assaulted that female in the most brutal way possible to get her unconscious. It probably wasn't like a slap in the face and she said, "What are you doing?" It was an all-out assault from Verdejo. And for him to have a syringe from whoever went and got it, whether his accomplice was the one who went over there and helped him get it, but he went to a certain location and retrieved a syringe with a liquid substance, whatever that was, heroin, um, antifreeze. I don't know what the fuck it was. That allows me to say this man seems like he may have killed before, or the individuals that he hang around, or that his circle has did it, and he may have been a part of what they've been able to pull out because they have a problem with women ending up dead over there in Puerto Rico. They have a problem with this shit. Felix Verdejo killing Miss Rodriguez, she wasn't the first. I'm just keeping the buck, man. She wasn't the first. But the way what he did to her was brutal. It was just brutal, you know. This is somebody you known for a long time in life, and you have an accomplice there that's helping you carry this out. He probably participated in restraining her. We don't know where the injection site was. Where did he inject her with that? The tying up of the legs and cinder blocks and all this shit. This was pre-planned in the most brutal fashion possible. We don't know if she was fully dead. She was already dead before she was out of the vehicle. We don't know was she still alive when she was thrown in the water and she drowned? It's possible. But when it comes to Verdejo, like I told you before, people look at his picture and they don't see that. Believe me, man, I'm reading all these articles, I'm reading all these Facebook groups, I'm reading all these people, and they look at Verdejo, and the first thing they say, man, I'm listening to him. He doesn't look like he would be that guy. He doesn't look that way. Look at him. He's a clean cut dude. You know what I'm saying? He looks easy going. It looks like he's easy going, low key. That's what they saying about Verdejo, man. And that's why people get killed. No, Alex, it wasn't no mistake, man. It's all good. We having a dialogue. It's all good. Miss say Verdejo is a plain idiot and coward. The whole PR knew he was involved with that woman for years. They did. He was involved with her for years. And the fact that she initially, when it hit certain news outlets, they were saying that, oh, she just found out that she was close to no. She was nearly 2 months pregnant and she was going to make him aware of the pregnancy. No. When Ms. Rodriguez missed her period or her cycle, she let him know, and they continued to sleep together. Period. That's the way it was going on. They continued to sleep together, and in the process, he was like, "Hey, as it came. That's what men ask. Some men ask, "Is it there? You came?" Okay. He kept on sleeping with her, and the conversation arose that, "Hey, I need for you to get rid of the baby. You know, I mean, I can't have that right now in my career. I can't have that. I'm married. I got a family of my own. I can't have that. Just come on, man. I'll take care of you." Look, a man would tell some shit like this to a woman, right? They'll say, "I'll pay you what you want to get rid of the baby." But yet, knowing that they're going to pay anyway with the baby alive. But if a human being understands that the absence is better than dealing with the presence on a daily basis of someone that you are a part of, a baby that was conceived while you was in an extramarital affair, it will affect the man much more than it would if he's not around, if the baby's not around. Some people would get over a baby being killed and tossed in a bucket or whatever they discarded, and them paying a woman money, and they'll just chalk it off like, man, I just don't have to deal with whoever, like they don't have an attachment to something or a human being that they never seen. They never was able to see the baby. They just knew it existed. Unless the baby come out in his life form and it has a face to it, and that man sees that baby, they really don't have that mental picture. And that's the fucked up thing that a woman have to deal with when it comes to a man. A man can be insensitive when it comes to that. I never saw a baby. I never had an attachment to something I never seen. How do I know she was telling the truth? That's what the conversation turns into. How dare you? You know I was pregnant. But there's so many other women who have basically fabricated such. There's women who didn't get pregnant from having sex with a man, but yet they was able to confiscate some of the contraceptive that was left behind and somehow, some way fertilize themselves manually a different way. It's happened. You might say it's insensitive, but it happens. We have to identify that it does happen, right? That shit does take place in life. But I'm pretty sure Felix has spoken to her. His mom has spoken to her and say, I want you to think about aborting this baby. We'll make sure we take care of you, this and that. But you can take care of me with the baby on deck. No, 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 no. He has a family. This is gonna be all over Puerto Rico, and this is gonna be bad look on him. And then Felix should have thought, like, it's plenty of athletes out here which have conceived kids while they was married, and they're public figures. I've seen some people who knew Verdejo online that are caught off guard by his actions. People thought he was a good person who did charity. His friends say they were shocked. Let me tell you, a huge part of what you said is true. A big portion of his friends in his circle may have been shocked. I would say the ones that communicate with him online might have been shocked because they had no physical connection to him. But there wasn't too many people that I knew in life that I didn't understand how dangerous they were. Were they innocuous individuals or deleterious individuals? You know what I'm saying? I pretty much had a clear understanding who the killers was. I had a true understanding who the ones that was out there doing dirt. And I had a clear understanding who the ones that was leaders and would stay away from that shit. But yet they had a friendship. But I pretty much had a clarity. There's some people that Verdejo probably dealt with within his physical circle that he interact with. They fully understand it. They fully understood what his capabilities were. These people on Facebook didn't understand that because you had a distance in between with your communication. You wasn't physically visible to experience what Verdejo had going on. You wasn't there when probably he was upset with somebody, or he had these very personal conversations, maybe with somebody that pissed him off or whatever, and some of his people. They didn't have those connections. So if they were shocked, I can see it, because they had a distance or a gap in between them that they on the surface they viewed Felix Verdejo as this good person. They looked at him being a handsome dude. It just doesn't look like that. That's what I hear on Facebook. He's a handsome guy. He's a clean cut dude. He doesn't look like someone who would beat up a female, inject her with damn chemical substance, and we can assume drugs, right? Tie her up and dump her into a lagoon. Wayne Williams type shit. Not only that, shoot into the water while she's sinking to the bottom to make sure that she's not only, drowning, but she's taking on gunfire too. He made it the worst way, one of the worst ways, like for her not to survive, drugged up, incapable of using any strength that she might have had as a human being to fight her way with the blocks that was tied to her ankles. And now she doesn't have, I'm pretty sure her hands was bound behind her back. There was no way for her to swim up to the top if she wanted to. And for him to shoot her and make it seem like this was a motherfucking hate crime. Like the girl was a motherfucking dog groomer. She was a dog groomer, y'all. She was a pet groomer. Just needs to exhale. Take that in. Take that in for a minute. This chick was a pet groomer. This woman was a pet groomer. She looked like she could be a school teacher or somebody in the church. She looked docile. Her parents did not come off as if she would even be a type of female that would be involved in a relationship with a married man. You feel me? She just didn't give off that vibe to some individuals. But you've been around and been around the world, you can find out it's a lot of nice women that can turn your life upside down. It's a lot of wholesome, so to speak, as they used to call it back in the day. It's a lot of attractive women in life that radiates innocence. D Hodges in the building. Salute to you. What's good? Appreciate all the comments in the live chat, man. Appreciate you cooking. No doubt. But Miss said he's a plain idiot. I totally agree, man, when it comes down to it. Alex is absolutely right. Those individuals who's coming, on knowing Verdejo as a social media friend, they truly didn't know who the man was. Come on, unless he confided in you, unless he had your personal number. That's the only way that you're gonna know. Sir Ken in the building. Salute, Sir Ken. What is good once again? World Combat Sports salute. Salute to the wrenches in the chat, to the chats. World Combat Sports salute. Salute to the wrenches and salute to the chat. Smash the like button. Appreciate you, my brother, all the time. Andrew said, while back, my friend got a roommate from out of town a while back. Dude was cool, fun to hang out with, drink, watch sports, joke around, etc. For months, it was cool. One day, the guy gets up and shotguns a young lady, then kills himself. Turned out he had followed that girl from Detroit to where I live and was just waiting to find her. God damn. See, look, when it comes to killing there, Andrew, right? They always expect a man to be the one to plan the process. It doesn't matter how innocent a man look. Like some of the worst serial killers, they look innocent as fuck. They look so innocent to the point where the visual that you have about them is demented. Like you see them in a whole different light. Like you look at them and say, dang, oh boy, look innocent. But then you think about all his victims on how they look to him as being innocent too. And harmless. Oh, he's not going to harm a fly. He look like he can't even fight. He looks weak. And they were some of the most brutal serial killers that you know. Like when you hear about these serial killers that killed all these women and they raped them, right? They'll say the dude raped them and killed them. Some people look at it's like, damn, look at that dude. They couldn't do anything to this guy. This guy looked like he couldn't hurt a fly. Like, did the women try to set him up? Did they try to take advantage? It'll be people out here asking crazy questions like that because they don't have nothing to go off of. Like some men look the part. They look dangerous. They look intimidating. You know what I'm saying? They'll give you every part of the card that you want. He looks like the card of a serial killer. He fits all that descriptions, all the bullet points. And then, people look at him and say, oh, he's a brutal killer. Malicious. We can see him carrying out those crimes. That's wild, Andrew. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy right there. I have some stories of myself, but I keep that shit. Mitch say, word on PR Street says the family of Verdejo's wife had enough of the embarrassment and told him to handle the situation or get handled. Unfortunately, this was the outcome. Well, they told him to handle the situation from embarrassment. Embarrassment, in my opinion, allows you to still move around as a human being that doesn't have restrictions due to confinement or incarceration. You know what I'm saying? You can be embarrassed all day long. Like, let's look at Bill Clinton back in the day. I'm not gonna lie, I made light of it. I remember talking about this in a room full of when the officers had a meeting. We was talking about sexual harassment. So they're talking about Bill Clinton, um, receiving oral sex from Monica Lewinsky while he was in office, right? And the embarrassment it brought upon his family and Hillary and everything. This is the president. This is the one in the White House. And for them to speak of impeachment, but it didn't happen. But yet, Monica Lewinsky was pretty much the one walking around embarrassed, and they attempted to blackball the shit out of her. But she also, gained some exposure from that. It's something that happens all the time. Sex happens on a daily basis, but you being involved with the president while he was in a marriage, she walked around embarrassed as shit. Like, it's a lot of military personnel that goes through this same situation. I have so many so many situations when it comes to the military of adultery and junior Marines, junior soldiers, junior Navy personnel, junior Air Force getting pregnant from married men. Those same married men would be men that are closely or either in charge of their section or in a section that's close by that they see on a regular basis. So this is how it all transpired. Not to go off topic from this, because I'm not in no way, shape, or form comparing military personnel to this, but I'm speaking strictly on adultery when it comes down to having an extra marital affair. You look at it in a sense where we go on deployments. There was a point in time where I seen this senior enlisted all the time in garrison. And in garrison, I didn't hang around enough to see where he was, because we're in garrison. That means we're here in the US. But on deployment, when we was in Iraq, I seen him with a troop over and over and over and over again. So therefore, being over there for close to a motherfucking year, you can really establish a bond with a side chick. Seriously, you're in a whole nother country and you're away from your family. You don't have to worry about your girl pulling up. You are over there spending quality time with your side piece. You're talking about things that you'll never talk about in the US. It's called garrison. Never. But you having sex on a regular basis and all this shit. When they got back, when they returned back to the stateside, this female was so wrapped up in emotions and everything that she wanted to go tell his family. And that's when shit went left. And he ended up having to be an investigator, and they had to check. I had to do my shit. I'm not gonna go into it, but I was one of the officers who had to get his information. I knew the guy. But since I was over, at a point in time, I had some, without giving away too much information, it came down to a point where the chick was pregnant. This ruined his career. And the chick did not care. She said, how can you be so selfish to give me all this love when we was away in Iraq? But yet when you get home, you want to act like I'm nothing. No, I'm going to let your family know. I'm going to let your wife know. I don't care how many kids you got. My kid matters too. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. And they make it a point to go find. They will wait and wait and wait until they see your wife at the PX. Walk up to her and say, hello, how you doing, Miss So-and-so? I'm so-and-so. I'm your husband's girlfriend. And then initial shock could be like, it depends on who it is. And then say, and by the way, they always hit you with the BTW. And by the way, I'm pregnant. I'm 3 months pregnant. How are you 3 months pregnant? He was in Iraq. I was in Iraq with him. That's why I'm pregnant. That shit happens all the time in the military, bro. That's not even the surface. That's not even nowhere close to the experiences of individuals who have done that shit in life, but in the military, it's magnified 10, 15 times because they try to hold you to a custom and conduct standard. It's been individuals who kill. It has. It's been individuals who kill when their girl came up pregnant in the military. Yeah, absolutely. It's happened. Just look it up on Google. What's crazy is that there was never any indication the guy had any such intention the whole time he was with us. Hey, we don't know how driven. Look, Andrew. We don't know why the guy was driven so much. Why he was driven so bad? Was it love? What was he, he scorned? Was he upset, angry? I mean, what happened? Did she fuck one of his boys? It all depends. Everybody is different, man. Like, why was he so driven to relocate to find this chick? It can be many ways, man. I'm telling you, women are the most powerful creatures on earth. If a man can understand that without believing that it has something to do with your masculinity, hey, I don't know what to tell you. Well, I'm telling you, you can love a woman to the day's end. You can learn so much from a woman. I'm not saying learning so much to the point where she's teaching you directly one-on-one, but you can learn so much on basically experiencing the involvement in women, how they can evolve into certain situations, how they can either manipulate certain situations, how they can be in control of certain situations without even trying to be in control, how other individuals can ruin friendships that was years and years, all from one female. You know what I'm saying? One female who chose to manipulate the situation, or one male friend who believed he had a best friend who was male, chose the female over his boy. And then once he was able to get the female, the shit didn't last because she felt fucked up about it. I'm telling you, a woman is such a unique, amazing species in life. A lot evolves around a woman. They're smart. Men do some dumb shit over a woman. D Hart say, "What up, comeback?" And the chat, "What's good with your OG? How you feeling, bro? Hopefully everything is good." D Hodges in the building. Alex say, "Top Rank needs to erase." They already did it, bro. I know where you're going. They already took his name down. Top Rank needs to erase all footage of him. Don't even mention Verdejo when Nakatani fights Lomachenko. His name should never be mentioned again. They're gonna mention it when it's on air. They're gonna keep it brief, to the point, and move and keep moving. But they have since removed Verdejo from Top Rank's existence. He is done, over. When that broadcast comes up against Lomachenko and Nakatani and they speak of his previous fight, there's no way they can mention that fight and provide a media overlay without mentioning Felix Verdejo's name. He's not the first one to go out here and do some shit like that. He's not the first boxer to kill. He's not the first athlete to kill. You still can mention the guy's name. He's done. Verdejo may not even make it out. Like okay, let me back up. Verdejo may not be in prison long enough to even serve his time. It all depends, because when a kid is involved in a killing, you know what happens. People kill the adult. It's not like they say, "Oh, this is what you did to the kid. The kid was sexually assaulted, so we're going to kill you first." You know, when you kill a kid, people take offense to that. They say you have a defenseless kid, even though the kid wasn't born. Look what you did to the mother of that child, knowing that there was a kid inside her, knowing that that was your kid. So you got to pay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. Pac-Man in the building. Salute to the Golden Warrior. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you pulling up. Joe Ayers crazy ass radiates innocence. She does, man. Like you look at females, like I'm definitely trying to be sensitive about the subject without even really cross threading that females are some of the most powerful individuals in life when it comes to influence. They are. Men have to accept that. A female has options. A female can have another man infatuated with her that's willing to go out here and she can play both sides, knowing that she never wanted to be with that man to begin with, but she can pretend as if there's just some type of connection going on there. And that man will take it upon himself and say, man, she's feeling me, but she's with that dude. So since she's feeling me just a little bit, I got to take care of him. I got to destroy him. I got to eliminate him. A woman can play those games. They have the power to do that without even opening their mouths. Seriously. They have the power to do it. A woman has the power to say she's pregnant, even though she's not. And somehow, some way, depending on who it is, they believe it or not. Oh, it's women every day that's getting money to so-called abort babies, and they're not pregnant. I'm just giving you the darker side in life of the hustle. It's women that look. I've seen women in the tunnels of professional football games and basketball games. Some of the most baddest women that you will ever lay eyes on. I've seen them at the after party. What are they there for? I'm not saying all of them out there on the hunt, but goddamn it, they on the hunt. How can a baby? How can you athlete get you pregnant and the woman is awarded for you to pay her $7,000 to $8,000 a month? I'm just talking about on the lower scale. $7,000 to $8,000 a month for a kid? Jesus. This woman, how can a man be in a situation where, just say the athlete isn't married and he gets a girl pregnant? How aren't we afforded the right, equal right to have custody of that kid without paying out just like she do? So let's just say 8,000 for 12 months, because that's the simulated calendar that we've been placed on in life. The calendar year consists of 12 months. So let's just say this order 8,000, 12 months for 18 years. Right? That's over $1 million, y'all, over the lifetime. That's close to $2 million. And the crazy part about it, if that's what's awarded initially, unless it's been stated in the court of law, that can increase. That 8,000 can increase to 10,000. Once the kid starts to grow and have other expenses, and then let's not even think about getting out of high school, going to college, the demand that may be placed upon the father of their kid to be distanced from their kid because the mother is all about the money. The mother's living lavish. Could you imagine the shit that's not taxable? Fellas, do you understand why people kill? I mean, Fideo would have been coming out the pocket for this kid because he's a boxer. I don't know how Puerto Rico do it, but he would have been coming out the pocket, even though he's in Puerto Rico, and they would have been like, yeah, you got to pay her this. And then her life would have been in danger from then on. You think she was killed now? Just imagine if she had the baby and they went to court and she was awarded a certain stipend a month. And she has to understand that Videjo's family is in the area. And she always have to watch her back. Videjo really don't want anything to do with that baby because Once again, it was out of a situation that's not a part of the media family. So his family will always disown that kid. Other people that's in the area would disown her and her kid because she chose. This is how it works sometimes, people, because she chose to be involved with an individual that she knew that was married. You know, I'm not bullshitting you. Some families take that mentality like, no, you ain't fucking innocent. You knew he was married. That's Felix Verdejo. You got with him because he's a professional fighter. You knew him all this time. You knew him since y'all was kids. Y'all knew you knew what it was about, and you chose to lay down with him. He didn't tell you he was marrying you. You knew. You took advantage of him. You wanted to be with a man that has the looks and everything you want in life, knowing that he had a wife and family. You know what? You chose to make that mistake. That's what they would give her. And man, I'm telling you, they tell me it's nothing like a woman scorned. It's nothing like a mother scorned that love her son and daughter. Oh my God. If they feel that someone's trying to take, primarily when it comes to the sons now and the woman, when you have a mama's boy who don't play, and she's willing to protect protect by all means necessary, and you want to throw a baby into the equation, oh my God, you're talking about a whole entirely different atmosphere of living. These are people, these are mothers you have to look out for, especially they come from a bigger family. They will have no remorse. Like, oh, don't worry about, don't sit up here and talk about your kid. Don't talk about your kid. I don't want to hear that shit. You knew he was married. You knew who he was. You knew everything about him, but you chose to have unprotected sex with him. That's when people look at it in a different sense rather than hearing it from me. Because if I say some shit like that, they say, oh, you being insensitive. We need to get his channel shut down. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we need to shut his channel down. Fuck him. But you have the mother of Felix Verdejo that's coming to the aid of her son, where she probably loved him to death. He was supporting them. He was the damn, I mean, he was everything. He's the lifeline. He the one who supposedly made it. For a woman to attempt to come in between that, I can only imagine how upset his mother was. She probably was upset with him too, but man, come on. After all he's done for his mother, she probably looked at him like, I'm gonna take care of this. She think it's easy. I'm gonna take care of this though. She was in a bad situation. She would have had to move out of Puerto Rico. Real talk. I truly believe that when it came down to it, she would have had that kid. She would have had to relocate. And Puerto Rico laws don't resonate. You know, they don't go. Um, they don't supersede U.S. laws over here. So she could have left with the kid. He just would have to come over here and try to find out where she was. It happens all the time. But she wouldn't have been able to stay over there in Puerto Rico like that. The kid would have suffered punishment. She would have suffered punishment or even death if that kid was born. So for them to say, yeah, you better handle that shit. And for Dale now, he's going to be locked up. The family is shedding tears. It's a dark, dark situation. And it's not going to get any clearer anytime soon. Seriously. Oh, man. Anyway, Dion said, King Mitch, we exchanged some words yesterday in a boxing group on Facebook. He with that BS. I'm just waiting when karma come around. Who are you talking about? Let's see. Dion at King Mitch, we exchanged some words yesterday in a boxing group on Facebook. He with that BS. I'm just waiting when karma come. Okay. Who are you talking about? Oh, you talking to King Mitch? Y'all exchange words. Yeah. Okay. Mayor Herring won me over after the Brian Custer podcast. What won you over about Jamel Herring? But you know when this is crazy. This situation ain't going away anytime soon. Seriously, it's not. Mm-mm-mm. I'm talking about the BS Jamel Herring was on yesterday that I sent you. Yeah, man. Oh man, 8 G's a month for 18 years is a great career. It is, ain't it? Tax free, right? Child support isn't taxable, y'all. So this is the hustle that they live off of. I know it's quite off the topic. Real talk. When you flip that pancake over, though, that motherfucker is fluffy on both sides of that shit. Them green pancakes that you get every month, it's a hustle going on. It's gonna continue to go on because you have women out here that's basically on a whole nother level of social media and also their looks. You know, the cosmetic aspect of it has changed the game. It's just the visual brings everything into play. Like really, doctors keeping your appointment. These we have women out here. Look, we have women out here to keep their appointments with their doctors, their surgeons. There have sculpted women out here, sculpted women out here that have these bodies that's just like it make you do 3, 4, 5. That's why I'm glad a brother can goddamn keep his head on the swivel. I'm like, shit, god damn, what? Huh? Yeah. I mean, I don't look at it as defined as I did when I was young because I've been all around the world and God blessed me with being with some beautiful women from different countries. But what I'm saying for these athletes, though, they have the money to pick and choose. For some, it seems like it affects them and it just breaks them down. Like they coming out the pocket with crazy amount of money because they got the right one. You know how you hear the women say they got the right one, right? But then you have the women. I don't want to mention names. I just but you have dudes out here with 6, 8 kids. And you like, let's see, that kid. So if I do 6 kids, this amount. So over the lifetime, you have spent 10 million, 15 million easy on these kids. I remember a woman said a kid is priceless. So if he's priceless, why are you sourcing so much child support then? I know this is not the conversation to have on this live. Well, I'm just saying if a kid is priceless, why is the first thing that happened in court kids? I mean, the female spouses, the female sources, motherfucking child support, sometimes spousal support. And oh my God, man, it just gets crazy. And that's why sometimes individuals lose their freaking mind. Even women will sometimes go out here and commit a heinous act when the dude is not supporting them the way they think. You know, one of the craziest secrets that people may not know when it comes to military. I say in general, with people visiting tourists and foreign countries, is that you go over there to these foreign countries and whatever that you may be doing. Okay, I'm not gonna zoom in this just strictly on the military. I'm just saying in general, you go to these foreign countries and you get women pregnant, and they really don't know truly who you are. You might have been over there for whatever reason for quite some time, and you was over there long enough to get a woman pregnant, and you bounce on them. Boom, you come back over to the States. And then you say, shit, I'm good. Some of the women that's over in them countries, they'll send people over here to tell you, hey, so-and-so over there pregnant. Yeah. While you was over there and you thought everything was cool, she ended up getting your address off your license and found out where you at over here. So we can't really do nothing over here, but we just saying, I'm just letting you know that you have a kid now. And you either do the right thing or we're gonna make it tough on you. They'll do some shit like that. Or sometimes you have, like in Japan, you have, this is what bugged me the fuck out when I was in the club. I remember the first time this shit happened, I was like, damn, that's sister bad. I say, can I talk to you for a second? And she said, Nani desu ka? I was like, what? So you have black Japanese that's over in Japan that look straight up black with somewhat like the Asian in them. Some of them girls are bad. Nani desu ka? Wakaranai? Okata? Aname wana desu ka? You have to know how to talk that lingo to them. Then they'll calm down a little bit. As long as you know how to communicate just a little bit. I remember dating this chick that looked just like a sister over there, man. She was straight up Japanese and black. She knew Japanese. She had been in Japan her entire life. If I was to take a picture with her, she looked just like a sister that was mixed with Asian. She looked just like a sister, her hair and everything. But when she talks, she has the mannerisms, everything of Japanese. Wifey material now. Wifey material. But they always tell you the same story. I don't know my pops. My mom can't remember who he was. It's crazy. It's wild, man. Like, it happens though. You go over there, you have a relationship, and some individuals only over there for 12 months. And then the parents, they're waiting to hear from this individual. They never told them they was going back to the States. Boom, they out. 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks. And then, relatives know she's pregnant, so she can't get rid of the baby. They end up having a baby. The baby is black and Japanese. But some, do the right thing. They take care of their kid, but they don't have no relationship with them. I'm just saying, man. The life. But back to Jamel Herring. This is what I have to say about Jamel Herring. Jamel Herring knew damn well if he was in a situation that if it was that much money, sometimes it ain't about the money. Really, sometimes it ain't about the money. Sometimes it's about the principle. You always hear people say that shit, right? It ain't about the money. It's about the principle. Especially as black people. Like, put yourself in a situation. Jamel Black, if he was ever in a high price situation like that, a high stakes situation where he had to make a choice, his whole entire state of morality might be different than Wilder. But for him to speak on supposedly 75 to 80 million, and for somebody to say, oh, that's enough, man, just step aside. When it comes to some individuals, some men who are alphas in life, they may not be close. They may not be as easy to shut down that chapter of their life and move forward. Some men who are alpha have a vengeance about them. They have a different type. They're cut from a different cloth. Their vigor is different. Not just because you You fight in the sport of boxing, you have to go in there and compete against another individual that's trying to cause damage just like you're trying to inflict upon them. I'm talking about in life in general. If what Wilder experienced and he chooses to say is much deeper than the aspect of money, then Jamel Herring wouldn't know what that's like because he's never been in that situation. That is my Marine Corps brother. True enough. But that doesn't mean we're going to see eye to eye on shit. I mean, people looking at this step aside shit because it's delaying something that they want. But when I hear them speak all the time, they ain't talking about shit that's beneficial to the situation of knowing the punishment that Wilder took. So they just like, man, go ahead, just move yourself out the way, man. Let's get this undisputed. And Wilder like, fuck that. It's deeper than that. It's personal, nigga. It's personal. But 75 million? It's personal. You know, I mean, Jamel Herring may not have that understanding, bro. He may not grasp the severity of it all because it's a lot of fighters that's up here upset once again that the fight hasn't taken place between Joshua and Fury. They upset, man. So of course he's going to get on here and be one of those guys that say, I think that's more than enough money to just, sit down for a while, okay? Know your place. Sit on the sidelines and look at the other two heavyweights scrap it out. I mean, you're being greedy. You're not even representing the sport of boxing correctly. You're disrespecting it. You're making it all about money. And you say to yourself, nigga, this all about money. Boxing is a business first. You know how many faces we see return back to the ring that's broke because they didn't understand boxing was a business first. They just wanted to pick up a check here and there. Come on, Jamel Herring, you know better than that. Jamel Herring, of all people, should understand what the gift he was given in this sport. He should thank the shit out of Terrence Crawford because he was at a point in his career where it was another man lifting him up and allow him to make the money he was able to make. Seriously. It's like they weren't looking at Jamel Herring and saying, oh, man, that is that dude right there. Oh, he's doing great. No, you was able to get yourself another brother help you out. You was allowed to fight on a bigger stage due to the help of Terrence Crawford getting you signed with Top Rank. So what is all the aggression when it comes to Wilder, who's accomplished way more than you ever done or ever will be in your career? Even though I salute you for earning the title against Ito and then coming in here defending, and stopping Frampton in your last fight. I get it. But bro, you have to be called out on this shit. What's going on with you, Herring? Seriously, bro, man. What you talking about? The men and women I know who raise their kids separately and have the healthiest relationships leave the courts out of it and just work out. Oh man. Yes, sir. Oh man, I can't speak on what I really want to speak on, but I will in some months though. I'm gonna leave that alone. I get back with y'all. Hey, timestamp this motherfucking lie, cause man, I gotta wait several more months. But boy, you ain't never lied about that shit. Leave it out of the courts if they're willing to leave it out of the courts. But I'm gonna tell you something, Andrew. The reason why it becomes extremely difficult to leave it out the courts is that you have family members that influence these individuals to take it to court. When it comes to a point where they have individuals talking shit, and that is of discouragement. They're denigrating the situation. The guy involved. Don't trust them. Don't do this. When the female or the male should just be paying attention to what's healthy for the family so that both parties, both parents can co-parent healthy in a relationship. That should be the priority, right? But when you have existing family members that's rah-rah-rahing from the sidelines, and they're talking all these excursions, obscenities. They just making it a bad situation. Really, they ain't giving a fuck about your kids. They just basically, they're mad because the situation, for whatever reason, has come to a divide, and y'all are going y'all separate ways. And then they want to sit up here and act like, okay, we're gonna make this shit as difficult as possible. This you need to do to him. Don't believe him. Don't keep it out of court. Man, I'm telling you, don't keep it out of court. He gonna fuck you over. You keep it out of court, he can stop paying you anytime. No, if you can keep it out of court and still have a contractual binding notarized statement, this, and this. Of course, you have some type of, you're not binded by a court of order, a court order, of course. But still, if you're able to keep it out of court and you agree to sign and make it official, then you go about it that way. It's very cost effective. It saves you so many thousands of dollars. But it's usually the family members who go about this shit the crazy way, dog. Real talk. They go about it a whole different way, man. Man, you're seeing so much about boxing coming up, man. Boxing is like, that's all you see right now, man. So many motherfucking videos is out. So many bouts are coming up. Whew, that shit crazy. But you were right. Hey, I'm about to roll up out of here though. I'll be back on though. Later on, sooner or later. I don't know when exactly. But anyway, hey, this is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to first and foremost continue to support the channel. Check out my content. Like I said before, when boxing starts up, I definitely, want to upload videos and, apply my creativity to whatever that is. It may not be some familiar faces all the time that you want to see, but check it out, man. You support. You fuck with me, cool. You know what I'm saying? If you donate to the channel, I appreciate it. Those of you that already do, salute to you, real talk. But that's what it is out here. You know what I'm saying? All I want you to continue to support and pass the word about the channel. Tune in to World Combat Sport.